This is why I train in martial arts.
Where them kicks at? Where them hands? Where them holes? Where them throws? You know what I'm saying? Cecil.
Well, first of all, let me apologize for people who are going to be offended and who are going to think that I'm a racist because I'm responding to a racist. So that's going to make me a racist. And because I'm going to say, don't fall for the propaganda of racists, that's going to make me a racist because I'm talking about something a racist said to me. And I'm probably also going to be called a racist because I'm going to reference something that Colin Flaherty says and shows that I grudgingly have to agree with because I survived it. It doesn't mean I agree with everything that he says. I don't agree with everything that anyone says. But there's some truth to the Colin Flaherty part. But this is something that was on a Colin Flaherty channel. I put my little thing where I usually say, this is why I train in martial arts, or you should train in a martial arts class, right? And so someone wrote, I wrote, put your kids in a martial arts class. And someone wrote, put your kids in a white homeland. And then I wrote, wherever there's people, there's violence. And then someone else wrote, wherever blacks are, there's way more violence. White don't make excuses for white criminals. You people are so full of feces. You people. And I wrote back, I've been around all races. They all have violence. Don't you people me. The people who enable this type of youth violence at school come in all colors, which they do, and which is true. Now, before I get to the clip quoting, I'm going to address this with logic. I have a pretty much a Eurocentric education, so my history that I've learned has been pretty much European history, just like a lot of people in the United States. So I want you to think about this for a second. And I say this not just to be critical of white people, because I actually thought about this and tried this, a black version of this, which when you laugh, when you hear this, you're going to think it's crazy for me to think this, because it is crazy for me to think this. But I want you to think about something. Okay. So swords, armor, arrows, war hammers, battle axes, Western boxing, Western wrestling. All that came up in countries that we call white. Those things were invented to protect the white people who lived in those countries from people who are not white. I think maybe they were made by one tribe to protect themselves from the other tribe, who may have had the same skin tone as them. Because wherever people are, they try to destroy each other. It's just a part of human nature. It's a sad part of human nature, but it happens. Just like I thought, because the area where I lived in, where I grew up at one point, there was some racial violence. There were some white people who would attack black people. There were also black people who attacked white people. And there were also black people who attacked black people. And there were white people who attacked white people. But I thought that if I moved to a predominantly black area, that there would be less violence. You should be laughing right now, because keep in mind, this is decades ago. I was young and I was dumb to think that. No. Are you serious? Come on. It doesn't matter where you go. There's going to be violence. Okay? Somewhere, some way, some shape or form. The best you can do is try to move around people who don't practice violence, who don't believe in violence. How can you tell? You really can't tell just by looking at them. Your odds will be better if the income level is higher. But that's not a guarantee. At least if the income level is higher, you are probably going to get a better response from law enforcement. Because, like it or not, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying how it is. You typically get a better response from law enforcement if you live in an area where people have more money. That's just the way it is. If you want that to change, please go out and change it. Don't bring it here. Okay? This is one thing I agree with Colin Flaherty on. I'm just telling you what I got. I don't do solutions. Well, I do solutions. My solution is the same thing I say on the channel. My solution is right now enroll in a martial arts class. So at least you can handle the immediate physical violence that's going to come at you. So you can fight that short-term symptom, and then you do non-physical things to handle the long-term problems. You get your people together who are good with politics. You work together with the law. You work together with educators. You work together with family, with friends, with the church. A lot of these failings, this is not a failing of any particular race. This is a failing of us as a community and as a society. And I'm not just talking about black people. This is everybody's fault. This is American society's fault. Why some schools are considered war zones.
One more school, this one in Maryland, where lots of people are starting to notice that something strange is happening in their schools.
In Wycomico County, parents were likening Salisbury Middle School to a war zone.
That's right. They say teachers have lost control and the school is no longer safe. Now, as 47 ABC's Kylie Panetta reports, they're demanding change.
Parents tell me the situation here inside Salisbury Middle has gotten out of control, that fights are happening way too often. Now they say their kids don't even feel safe coming here anymore. Danielle Mann, the parent of a sixth grader at Salisbury Middle seen getting assaulted in this video, is speaking out.
Last week I got a phone call that said I needed to get to the school. My daughter had been attacked. It's just a lot as a parent to have to send her into what I now call a war zone.
She tells 47 ABC this didn't surprise her because she's seen the red flags and reported them to the administration. But she feels nothing is being done.
If the proper precautions had been taken, I really believe it would have not escalated into an assault.
Laura Brittingham, also a mother of a sixth grader at Salisbury Middle, echoes those same feelings.
It's a place that it sounds to me like a jailhouse riot.
She tells us her son would rather switch schools because of the violence.
He knows that when he goes to school that there's going to be a fight. It's a given. It's not even a, I wonder what's going to happen today. It's, oh God, another fight's going to happen today.
So again, if your child is in some place that's a war zone, or you may happen to be in a place that's in a war zone, if you can't move or you don't want to move, put them in a martial arts class. Traditional martial arts class. That's not going to make them invincible, but at least they can stop immediate violence that's coming towards them. That's a good short-term fix, good short-term solution. And while you do that, you and all the other people can work together to try to fix up and clean the social, economic, psychological ills that are coming. It's got to be a multi-front cure because this is a multi-front problem. And I think it's only going to get worse. And if you want to know why I think that, look at the other videos that I have on my channel. I just uploaded one. You got marijuana in the atmosphere now, and the marijuana is some type of marijuana that's never been seen before. You're going to have economic problems because they're replacing people with robots and things like that. That's going to cause hardships. You have different dynamics in the family nowadays where you don't necessarily have a person at home all the time who can keep an eye on the children. And this is all in addition to just basic, plain old human nature. So thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Please share this with people who like to talk about the martial arts. And peace. And pray for our children. All of our children.